Yeah.
God gave me a second chance, and I feel like I would love to tell people that there is more to life than just achievements. There is more to life than just pursuit of things that make us happy.
Yeah.
When I was on that bed, I knew that even if he called me, I was going to go with him. And I was going to die once. Not before, I was giving people time. Let everybody do their part. Please, Wilber, it's been long without seeing you. I shall see you.
No worry, we shall catch up.
Yeah, we shall catch up. You keep doing what?
Postponing.
You keep postponing. We are in a routine. Chabulijo. Ochimani, breathe, si chabulijo. There's somebody who stopped now breathing. Eating, smelling flowers. Si chabulijo.
Smelling food.
Smelling
scents,
food, yeah, like si chabulijo. Wolo mtu achagala nga tachina, but God is so gracious that the most expensive things in life He's given us for free.
And that's a generous God.
For free. But again, we don't appreciate Him because we don't know their value until we are about to lose them. Ngoliwali, you seeing a dead body here, you are laying in a pool of blood. You are like, it would have been me there. Ngolenga mulambo guli awo, you now you are like Katonda wange.
Yeah.
Thank you for life.
Hi everybody, thank you for joining us today's episode, and I'm very happy to keep hearing the feedback that you keep sending, all the comments, all the sharing. Thank you so much. And today I'm joined with the one Wilber Kasaale, who is going to tell us about his experience and the story of how God gave him a second chance to live, so that you can learn 1 or 2, 3 things. Thank you so much. So please join me as we welcome Wilber to take us through. Hi Wilber.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for joining us.
A pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So who is Wilber?
Wilber was born Chiza, Wilberforce,
Yes.
Chiyinje.
Yes.
So I'm from the Ndiga clan and I'm from Uganda.
Yes.
I love people.
Yeah.
I love music.
Yeah.
But most importantly, I'm a child of God.
That's good.
So I use Wilber Kasaale for my ministry because as I was growing, we were told we were arrows.
Yes.
And when we were launched out, we were shot into the world. So I chose to use Wilber Kasaale because I'm an instrument in the hands of God.
Wow, that's very, very good. So what inspired you to come to share this story? Because I know it has not taken you long from the time you recovered. So kindly share with us what really inspired you to come through.
I have seen life from a different perspective, a different light. Ever since I survived that accident on the 16th September 2022, I've not been the same.
Yeah.
God gave me a second chance, and I feel like I would love to tell people that there is more to life than just achievements. There is more to life than just pursuit of things that make us happy.
Yeah.
So, we need to appreciate life when we still have it.
Yeah.
So that's what inspires me to come today.
Wow, I need to hear that. So do you mind please taking us through exactly what happened on that day?
So like I told you in the early opening, in the beginning, I'm a gospel artist and I do write music, I play guitar and I release music. So in that season I had released a song called Bujja Kucha.
Yeah.
And it was doing well, so I was having ministry all over the place.
Yeah.
I was going to churches to sing and talk to people.
Yeah.
Because my music is full of hope. I actually go by Wilber Kasaale, Dovozi Lyasubi.
Yeah.
So I focus a lot on giving hope, on speaking about how God can help people.
Yeah.
And so that day I had actually 2 churches and an interview.
Yeah.
I did the interview in the evening on a certain TV station. And then I went to a church in Chanja. I ministered. Then my last destination for ministry that day was Kamoli. Chireka, Prayer Palace. I was going to go there to sing and then come back.
Yeah.
I stay in Banda. By that time I had not yet graduated.
Yeah.
I'm
still a student.
Yeah. I've not yet graduated still, but I'm not in school. I finished my final examinations in January. So I'm waiting for the crown.
Yeah.
So but by that time, I had not yet graduated. So the plan was I was supposed to sing at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes timekeeping is hard for people. I was there in time. I had to perform, I had to present, and then come back home. But I ended up waiting till around 11:30. And my boda guy who takes me and brings me is a married man. Couldn't wait for so long.
Yeah, yeah.
And Mwesi guy here, he's very careful. So he told me, my wife is calling me.
I need to go.
I need to go.
The boda men like that in this city.
Yeah, he's a responsible man.
Wow.
So yeah, he's the one actually who's brought us here.
Yeah.
And he rides very carefully. But he had to go. Money, me, I believe family is first.
Yeah, that's true.
God, then family.
Yeah.
So I let him go. And after I performed around 11:30, I stopped a boda that was heading to Banda. And if you know Kampala, Banda and Jinja is very near.
Very near, yeah.
1K. But in the night they will say 2K, but it is very short distance.
Yeah.
So I jump on a boda, and the guy began talking. I love conversing with boda people.
Yeah.
So I think he was in a lot of thoughts because he was telling me school fees. My kids haven't yet reported back. I'm still struggling here and there. And for me, I always want to find a way of preaching to them.
Yeah.
But I want to first find a common ground where they are, so that I go where they are, and then I bring them where I would love them to hear about Christ.
Yeah.
But this particular guy was riding and he was doing more of the talking. I think he had a lot and just wanted to,
power out.
Sometimes talking helps.
Yes, yes.
And when people feel listened to, they will talk.
Yes.
So, but if you know Banda, so we are approaching Mogas. There's a gas station called Mogas. Meanwhile, it's late in the night, no traffic, very few cars on the road. And then this truck, this big lorry, is turning to go get fueled, go get gas. And then I tell the guy, please stop, slow down. That space is too little for us. Like, I really saw it. It was very narrow. The car was turning, and the guy, instead of stopping, he decided to overtake. He decided to go. In his mind, I think he was thinking he was going to reach before the truck.
Trailer, yeah.
But the truck is long. They're not seeing us. We are down here, and we are in his lane. Chiraba, it is him coming. For us, we had to, you know, here you keep left.
Yes.
And he's trying to. The next thing I know, the last word I said was, Togenda. Don't go. That's the last word I said. And then the next thing I know, I wake up in a pool of blood. I was seeing my bones, my legs. I was so scared.
Wow.
I was very scared. Meanwhile, the guy is dead.
He died on spot.
Yeah, he died on spot.
Wow.
And where people came from, the papa attendant, the boda people that were coming, everybody stopped and the truck took off. Bamugambo osa abantu are here, he never stopped. For me, I gained my consciousness after some time.
Yes.
Because I first lost it for a few minutes. I wake up and I saw dead body. The police took like 20 or 30 minutes without coming. Maybe 10, maybe 20, I don't know. I'm there scared. It's a dead body. He was hit on the head. Blood is. In a minute, just like that. Somebody had just talked to a few seconds ago, a few minutes ago. And he's no more. I got traumatized. I was so scared for some time. I even feared sleeping in a room that had no lights. I was talking to my papa, one of my very good fathers called Josh Craner, and he's helped me to go through this experience. Talking about it helped a lot. But in the beginning, I didn't want to talk about it. I even feared sleeping in a room without lights. Why you were fearing death? I was fearing the darkness. I don't know, but I just feared darkness for some time. Even my sisters came and stayed with me for some time in the hospital, and even after I was discharged, I didn't want to be alone. That thing didn't leave me the same. But while I was on that bed in the hospital, I was thinking, what if God had taken me?
It was real. The taking was
It's a near-death experience.
Yes.
It's an accident that has claimed a life, and you witnessed everything, you saw everything.
And but you are with that life.
You are with that life, and we are talking. He had no problem at all. He was fine, physically he was fine, and he was talking to you. And then just a few minutes later, he's no more.
Oh, yeah.
And we are there laying in the hospital with chupa yomusai on you. You're just thinking, where is my mom? Where are my sisters? I would love to talk to them like... That thing gave me a new way of seeing things. That experience gave me a new way of seeing things.
Yeah.
And now, it's now, how long ago is it? 7 months ago? 7, 8. It was September 7, 8, around there. I am very, very... I now love spending time with people. I love listening to people, and I'm appreciating life more. Every day that I live, I don't take it for granted because I know it could be the last.
I want you to take us also through the moments after and your life after that. In these 8 months, what has been your life like generally?
The first 3 months were months of fear.
Yeah.
The first were months of fear. I was like, I was going to die, you know? So healing, talking about it, and praying that God heals me because I was traumatized. Those images would come when I'm sleeping, and I would wake up and switch on the light. So that's why I always...
You could dream?
Yeah, I would. My mind would recreate the whole scene, like before.
Yeah.
And then when I'm in blood, like I would relieve it sometimes. I'm like, God help me. Yeah. This is traumatizing. It's really touching me. It's eating on me.
Yeah.
So after that, and being open to people, and then also going before God and asking, please God, heal me. I know you gave me a chance, but I don't want to live my life in fear. I want to still serve you boldly. Yes. Because you preserved me for a purpose. Yeah. It's no mistake that I am here. I am here on a mission. You've given me a mission. Please strengthen my heart, strengthen my soul to serve you because I'm now scared. And God heard my prayers. Yeah. And he answered it. So now I believe the past 8 months have been months of regaining my own self, appreciating life more, loving people, spending time with God, having quiet times every morning, and reading the Bible. But also, my life didn't stop. I'm still doing what I need to do. I'm still working. But now I have a more focused and intentional view of life than I had before I had the accident. Because the things
what was your perspective before, and what is your perspective now?
My perspective before was, if I begin a journey, I will reach. Like, it's automatic. I have to breathe, you know. Yeah. Tomorrow is granted.
I will wake up.
It's a guarantee. I will be here tomorrow. I'll wake up. You don't even think death is near you. You are not sick. I wasn't sick. I was feeling strong. I just done an interview. I just performed in Chanja. I was very fine. Everything was okay. So so even I had tomorrow. I have papers, and then we have plans.
You plan every day.
You plan every day as if you'll be able to live.
Yes, your schedules are intact.
Then you are not giving people time. Before I wasn't giving people time. Let everybody do their part. Please, Wilber, it's been long without seeing you. I shall see you.
No worry, we shall catch up.
Yeah, we shall catch up. You keep doing what?
Postponing.
You keep postponing. You think... I didn't plan to say this, but I lost a brother to depression. His name is Mutsinzi Robert. We grew up together, and he became so depressed. He was so isolated, and he killed himself.
When was that?
This was last year also. Beginning of last year. So calling that and then putting it with my accident, and then how we always push people away, thinking, everybody has their issues they're dealing with.
You are not the first one.
You're not the first one. I hear some people even would tell him, if you want to kill yourself.
Really?
Yeah, depression is real. Depression are real. Abantu betaga okumala nabo obudde. You need to spend time with people. Need to be listened to. Listening to a person is therapy itself.
I agree.
It's the beginning of healing.
Yeah.
So now I'm spending more time with people. I'm intentional with my work with Christ. I was intentional then, but nowadays I think I've made him my friend. Literally, Muriato, we were all sailing, you know. I'm a Christian, I go to church, praise the Lord, shala, everything is okay. But now it has become personal. I came to know Christ when I was, I think, I was at home where I grew up, a place called New Hope, Uganda. It's a children's center. That's where I grew up from. 2009, I accepted Christ, but I believe when I was in P7 is when I really took him as my personal and savior. You know, if you grew up in a Christian environment, you're all saved.
Christian school, Christian home.
Yes, Christian home. You have to go to church.
Yes.
Dad will buy you the Bible, whether you confessed or not. So you have, when they lift holy hands, you also lift your hands. You really don't know what's happening.
That's why they call a Christian home. A
Christian home. So actually, challenge my people who grew up in such homes. Dakar Web was, am I really saved?
Yes.
Like, is it my father's faith? Is it my mother's faith? Is it my faith? This near-death experience has brought me closer to God. It has brought me closer to God because I knew when I was on that bed, I knew that even if he called me, I was going to go with him. And I was going to die once, not twice. You know, there is physical death that every man will have to go through. But there is eternal death that Christ can save us from. And we shall live with him forever, happily ever.
Yes.
Because we are eternal beings, we won't perish. I knew that even if God had called me home, I was happy to go. But in me, I'm convinced I still have to be here because there are things that I believe I have to accomplish that I've not yet put my hands on. And I think that's why God gave me a second chance.
You
by
knew you
his
were
grace.
going to die once.
I'm going to die once because I'm born again.
That's true.
I'm born again.
True. And someone who doesn't know the Lord dies twice.
Somebody who doesn't know the Lord dies twice. You die this physical death, and then you're also separated from God forever, eternal separation. That's the second death the Bible talks about. I was having a conversation with one of my Muslim friends, and he told me that the Bible says that Christ died so that you won't die. People die. So what? Isn't that a lie? And I was trying to explain to him that it's not the physical death. Death, the Bible describes the second death as separation from God forever.
Yeah.
So if you die once here, you won't have to go to test the second death because Christ has paid the price for you. He's bought your place internally. Yeah. So life is not the same ever since I survived that accident. I'm more intentional. I think I'm living my life with a purpose now. More. I had a vision. I knew where I was going, but nowadays, I am grateful for it.
For life.
Totally
That's
guaranteed.
Something we really need to learn, Wilber. You know, anyone who hasn't had that experience, like the way you said, we make plans, we make schedules, we plan our years, but even every morning when we wake up, we don't even thank God. Because
we feel like we are in a routine. Chabulijo. Ochimani, breathe, si chabulijo. There's somebody who stopped now breathing. Eating, smelling flowers, si chabulijo.
Smelling food,
yeah, like si chabulijo. But God is so gracious that the most expensive things in life He's given us for free.
And that's a generous God.
For free. But again, we don't appreciate Him because we don't know their value until we are about to lose them. You seeing a dead body here, you are laying in a pool of blood. You are like, it would have been me there. ngulengera omulambo guli awo, you now you're like Katonda wange. Thank you for life. Thank you so much for life. I've actually written a song called Our Border that we are releasing very, very soon. And it talks about appreciating life and also taking care of yourself. Even if you're a passenger, don't let that border guy do a mistake with you watching.
Was that song inspired by that experience?
Yes. After I healed, the next thing I did was go to studio because that's how I express myself. I just call it copy blind. I'm like, is the studio open? I'm coming
to do
recording. So I didn't even go with anything. I just knew what I wanted to sing. I had no beat. I called the producer Josh Wills and then we came up with something. But I've not released it yet. I did it I think in December. Nainga China mugundi eyo. What if we talk about it and I break down and I cry? Because at some point when we're talking about it, I could not talk for like 5 minutes. If I never be living, I only shared with my people, my family, where I could be so vulnerable. Even when I was recording the song, midway, I stopped, I went back. I did the song for like 5 times in the studio because I had not yet gained the strength
to do it.
Because every time I was singing, I would recall what happened. But now God has healed me by His grace, and it's now a testimony. Yes.
So how has your ministry changed? How has your ministry, has it anyway changed? The way you used to minister before, is it the same way you minister now?
No, it's not the same. A lot has changed. Even for us, I would go and just sing. We get my guitar and sing. I sing.
They call you to churches and
I never talk about life after. But nowadays I've made it a very, very important thing to call people to Christ. Every time I get an opportunity, obandi ku boda, obandi ku taxi, the moment we begin conversing and I have an opportunity to tell someone about Christ and the internal destination, I do. Because life is not guaranteed. We don't know how long we are living here for. So now my life has, yes, I'm still the Vozilia Suvi, but that perspective of internal destination and people living forever and accepting Christ as their Lord and Savior has now gotten a good part of me also.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So Wilber, there's something that you mentioned which I want us to capitalize on for a minute. Before we went on the show, you were telling me how you had burdens. You knew you were going to die. On that birth, you knew you were going to die, but you felt you still had burdens of unforgiveness, burdens of releasing people. Could you take us through that and what you would also tell people to do in regards to the same idea?
I was almost forgetting that it is very important. Before I had this accident, like I told you, I was raised not by my biological people. I lost my dad when I was only 6 years old. And my mother was pregnant and I had 2 little sisters. One was
young.
Very young. And so I grew up with bitterness towards my family, my biological family, my father's side.
Why?
Because when he died, they never looked out for us. It was my mom and the streets that took care of us until we went to New Hope. Only 2 of us went there. Later another joined. So I grew up thinking, and yet my family seemed well off. Most of them had cars. You know how young people judge well off. If you're driving, you're well off. If you have a house, you're well off. So they seemed they would have done more, but they looked like they really didn't care. So I had that. I had that bitterness part of me. But every time the Lord would want to touch it, I would hide. I would say, I'm fine.
I'm fine,
But I'm fine. I'm okay. Every time the Holy Spirit would convict me about it, I would kind of dodge because I knew it was painful. But I knew, even me, my heart would have been so. But after that experience, I had to do the Lord really talked to me through my father and through other people. And I gained the confidence and the courage and I went and I saw them and I comforted them. I told them, I want to forgive you.
How many were they?
So many. Some, I found them in their places of residence, some at their workplaces. Abamu nga tuli mu nkiiko, and I stand up, I say, I want to talk about this. This has been on my heart.
For years.
For years, I want to forgive you. Some took it jokingly, wagamba, it's not big business. Some appreciated it and said, okay, please forgive us. Others never responded. Now it was about me. Zikasta nchije ku mutima gwange, it's well with me, I've released it. Bantumo, you left us when you were so little, you left us to our mother, and she struggled with us, but I forgive you. I forgive you.
And I think it's
from the bottom of my heart.
It's common with also families. Like when we grow up and we start doing ministry, we start having families, we start having jobs. It's very common that families usually don't get along. I mean, for many reasons. And we never want to go back. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
We never seem to want to go back to our families, to even make things right after all.
You know why? Because there's a lot of pain that we don't want to deal with. And we feel if we don't touch it, it will be okay. But remember, the more you keep quiet, the more you leave it, the more it is going to become difficult for you to heal. Because healing is a process. You don't heal instantly. It's like, it takes time. So even me, after forgiving them, now I am practicing to love them. Surprisingly, when I love them, they love me back. And now they have known my ministry and they're so interested in my music. I'm 1 hour free, they're so happy. And I'm seeing God bridging the gap. And I believe he might use that opportunity, that incidents for me to go back and bring some to himself. Because now they are seeing, this is a kid we abandoned, but this is a kid that has come back and he loves us. Jesus has meaning. He's given me meaning, and they see it and they're like, okay, I believe. Nowadays when we are talking to my uncles and my judges and my singers, I tell them Christ openly because they know that's who I am. And
this one has transformed you. It's very, very key. I think that's a very key lesson, because we never want to go back to our families. We never want to. I, for one, I think I also have an experience like that, where you have family members that you don't talk to.
Most people are like that. But some even are like that and they don't know. They think now I have moved from their authority. It's my life.
Because you're not under them anymore.
When you ask them why, Jajjo yankubanga nnyo. Owulira? Oyo yatuyangako emmere. He mistreated us. That's pain.
And it's slow, it is inside there, but you've kept it. And that pain, you tell your children that weren't even there, and they also hate the, you see. So the distance grows big with generations. So I thank God that I didn't reach there. I don't have no kid yet to tell that to. To tell that. That uncle you see there.
No.
Mothers are the ones
by God's grace,
mostly.
God gave me the courage and I went, I faced my pain, I faced my fear. But why? Because of this near-death experience. You know, I have a song called The Chariot Plan. There are some things that God let them happen for our own good. But in the short term, we don't know. Just like the story of Joseph in the Bible. He was mistreated, he was imprisoned, he was accused falsely. But God had a plan in all that. So I'm trying to see it from that light, that maybe God wanted to heal me spiritually and he wanted to get my attention. I agree. He wanted to get my attention.
To get you to focus.
To focus and to think about my life seriously and my family and my whole being as a person and not just like a small world. No. See the whole big picture. Your family, the world, Christ-centered kind of approach. And I think that's one of the most insightful thing I saw happen after my near-death experience.
Wow, that is very, very good. I mean, for us who haven't gone through that, I think we can as well focus. We don't have to wait for, a near-death experience. And thank you so much for sharing. So I'd like to hear what your final thoughts are, what you would want to communicate to everyone that has listened to your story, and also maybe to talk about a little about your song that you're releasing soon. Yeah.
I think I'm going to conclude with 3 points or 4.
Yeah.
One, you don't have to wait to reach where I reached to recognize that life is precious.
Yes.
Now that I have told you, I know you've heard many other people talk about it. Please begin appreciating life and thanking God for life and living it to your best.
What do you mean by living life to the best?
Like living, everybody knows that. Their soul, their spirit knows that they are not appreciating life. They are not being grateful. They are so demanding about life. The things that need appreciation, we don't give them attention. And then the things that are not really important, we give them so much attention. Wanjogeddeko, gwe, omanyi, inze. And then somebody is sick and you say,
Oh.
So live life.
First, go back a little bit.
Yeah, yes.
What are those things that are very important? What are those that are not important?
When life becomes a routine, we tend to major on things that are not so important, and then don't give attention to things that are so important. For example, we want to feed our ego. Easy, I'm the baddest. You know, I'm good. It's all about me. But then we if they tell you somebody is sick, let's go visit them. You're like, when they tell you big. Your auntie needs this, is in the hospital. When they tell you your kid, for parents, there is a sports day, and the parents are invited. Please come. For you, it's not important. But when that kid sees you in the congregation and sees mommy is there, you've given that kid the attention. That kid, zenjukira mama wangu yajanga ku speech day nga mazina nyongera. So like that's what is really very, very important. I was telling you, Christ summarized for us the essence of life in 2 rules. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, your mind, your soul, and strength. And love your neighbor as you love yourself. These are the rules. Apart from those, there is no law. And then there is a scripture, 1 Corinthians 13:13. For there are 3 things: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of this is love. Like yagala abantu naye we yagala wala abantu abatayagala okimanyi nga they don't really appreciate, they are comparing themselves ne Wilber Kasaale. They are comparing themselves to Renate. She's married, she's married. Like love yourself, appreciate the season God has put you in, and then live life to the fullest. Yeah, wow. That's one point. The other point is about recklessness. I believe there are things that happen to us that we can prevent. God has not created us like robots. Mukama talina ka robot muguru n'agamba leero buli bagenda kwambala kitengi, Renate will put on glasses. God has given us the power of choice from the beginning. We choose even something, this is very scary, but even God entrusted our internal destination
to us. Because
the Bible says that those who confess and believe in their hearts that Christ is Lord, He will bring preachers, He will bring the music. But if you're not convinced,
He will bring a talk show like this.
Yeah, talk show like this. And it's up to you to decide. Kasaale has told you, Renate has done her job. For us, we've done our job, we've told you, but God has put that choice for you.
So recklessness
with border drivers, riders. If you go in the city, you saw what I talk about. Abana bavuga amadigi. Mama! They like, what is it doing? Like, yeah, please, the things that you can do. Put on your helmet. Me, I don't sit on a border with that helmet nowadays. To work, let's go.
Them, it's not that important.
Yeah, please, the things that tovuga speed. Tovuga speed. Ojatuka better late than, you rather reach than not reach.
That's a lesson my dad told me when he was teaching me how to drive. That every time you want to overtake, it's because you're late. think about two things. Do you want to reach late or you don't want to reach at all?
Very powerful lesson.
Yeah.
Nange najiigana, but sometimes back nazagamba ababoda oyo omutema temera wali wali kapanya space hii obudde munkutte, but you knew that you had a show at 12 and you didn't leave at 10 oliawo. So the things that we can do, and then the sad things that we blame God.
I know.
Like, I have given you the power.
Yeah.
I've given you the power of choice.
Yeah.
If you know you are going for a show at 12, why don't you plan your time well? Or single papi omusajja wa bendi.
Yeah, you plan even you put the jam in your plan.
Yeah, and also let's talk to them. Olabanga kuvuga bubi nze mvuga naye he's riding on the wheels, but I'm also seeing. Ngoberera omulabanga he's riding, I tell him, please sir,
slow down.
Respectfully. Please sir, I'm not in a rush. Please slow down. Please.
That is something everyone should learn.
It took me like 4 months okuda ku border. Even now, I still have a fear.
I know.
Yeah, but God is redeeming me. The last point that I'm going to talk about is the song. I'm releasing a song called Owa Border, a video that was shot by Backyard. It's a very interesting video that when all the people that have watched this show, I'll make sure I share the link with you so that
please. I'll put it in the comment section.
Yeah, so that they get to see it.
Yeah.
It's basically my story.
It's an
inspirational and also calling us to work together and also appreciate life.
Yeah.
I appreciate life.
Wow, thank you so much, Wilber. Your story has so many lessons to it, and I'm sure everyone has picked out theirs. And I'll wait for the song so that we also listen to it. But even just apart from that, the fact that you are alive again gives so much hope to the people. And that's why you're sharing your story. Some of us take life for granted because we've not had some of these experiences, but we shouldn't take it for granted. We must be very grateful to God and appreciate life in its fullest. If you've been blessed and feel like this is something that you can relate with, please comment in our section and tell us what you feel about life. If you've had a near-death experience also, you can tell us what it was about, and let us learn to appreciate life together. When we are still having it, let us learn to, live life to the fullest. Do what you're supposed to do, what God has called you to do. Start it so that you don't live in regrets. Yeah? So thank you so much for joining us today. If you haven't subscribed,
please do.
Wilber should tell you to subscribe. I've told you enough times. Let Wilber tell you to subscribe.
Please, if you've been blessed by this testimony, please click that red thing, and it really matters a lot if you subscribe. And that means that every time she has a new visitor, you'll be the first one to be notified. Then you'll be following through so well.
Thank you so much, Wilber. Thank you so much. Please subscribe and let us know that this content is helpful to you. Thank you so much. Till next time. Bye-bye.